There is nothing in Star Wars like a good old-fashioned giant monster. Whether it's asteroid-dwelling Exegorse that can swallow ships whole or the Sarlacc reaching up from the pit of the Carcoon, the galaxy is absolutely full of huge beasts to marvel at. The Sith were one of the first to understand the might of monsters to an extent that they even began to create their own through the use of alchemy. But in today's video, we are going to revisit the creature that was said to be the most dangerous monster in the entire galaxy, the Zillo Beast. It was first introduced to us in the second season of Star Wars The Clone Wars in a 2-episode arc. During the excursion, Anakin and Obi-Wan would encounter what they believed to be the last Zillo Beast in existence, and they discovered that it was a creature that not even the Jedi Order could take down. In the years to come, not even Lord Vader was able to kill this monster. Only a single person has been able to single-handedly take down the Zillo Beast, so let's explore who and why. Starting out at an average 97 meters tall, the gargantuan Zillo Beast towers over almost every other land-dwelling creature in the galaxy. They were large serpentine creatures with 5 limbs, 2 being legs and 3 being arms, with one of the arms located on their back. Their bodies were slim and extended out into a long sweeping tail tipped with massive spikes. Their slender frames and multiple limbs allowed them to contort and move their bodies through just about any terrain. They thrived in locations with mountains and rocky crags, and as we learned, this allowed the beast to run loose on Coruscant and navigate it very easily. Though despite their enormous size, they didn't fall into the giant slow monster category. The Zillo Beasts were incredibly fast and agile, as seen in the Clone Wars episode The Zillo Beast Strikes Back. The monster was able to cross several miles from its containment facility to the Senate building within a few minutes, all the while fighting the Republic military. It leapt on one rooftop to the other with ease, crossing dozens of streets in a single bound. Not only this, but its reaction speed was insanely deadly. In the same episode, the beast was shown to be fast enough to smack approaching ships out of the air with its tail, or catch them mid-flight in its claws. But the real challenge with this being, the thing that made it the most dangerous creature in the galaxy, was its armor. The natural plating that lined every inch of its body was possibly the most dense non-alloy substance that ever existed in Star Wars lore. Not only did it completely shrug off cannon fire from several LAAT gunships and AAT walkers, but not even a lightsaber could penetrate it. When Anakin got close on Malastare, he found that his blade merely glanced harmlessly off the beast's hide. This of course ended up being the driving factor behind Palpatine's desire to keep the beast on Coruscant for study. Palpatine had the intention of reinforcing the clone troopers' armor to possibly make them lightsaber resistant in preparation for Order 66. Moving on, it was once believed that it was native to Malastare, the homeworld of the Dugs. However, as we found out later, this isn't entirely accurate, but their presence was most known in the ancient days of Malastare, where the Zillo Beasts effectively ruled the planet and preyed on the native Dugs. But over time, the Dugs began drilling into the planet for fuel, and the Zillo Beast population gradually went extinct because of this. This was both due to the loss of the habitat and strange poisons within the fuel itself. This turned out to be lethal towards the beasts. But despite wiping out the vicious predators, the ancient Dugs issued a warning to their future descendants that the beast would someday return to destroy the entire civilization as retribution. Eventually, it was believed that the species had been eradicated, though it was prophesied that one such creature still survived and would emerge in the future to destroy them. Thus, the Dugs passed down a manuscript through the generations, trying to prepare their descendants for such a day. The Sith were unfortunately too late to the party to capitalize on the strength of the Zillo Beast though. They were believed to be all but extinct by the time the Sith Empire went to war with the Grand Republic. And during the sacking of Coruscant, Darth Malgus admired a statue that was made from a Zillo Beast's bones. Malgus expressed that he had only heard rumors of such a creature, but he said it would be a beautiful addition to the Sith army had they still been alive. One of the most vicious Sith Lords ever recognized how powerful the Zillo Beasts were. The very next time that one would appear would be in the Clone Wars, when Malastare faced a threat from the Separatist invasion in the year 22 BBY. The Republic responded in kind, wanting to secure an alliance with the Dugs in order to gain access to their fuel. Windu and Anakin were dispatched to oversee this mission. While there, the Chancellor authorized the deployment of an experimental weapon, the Electro-Proton Bomb, which was meant to be a massive EMP to obliterate the droid army. While it was successful, it had the adverse effect of waking a slumbering Zillo Beast laying dormant within the planet's crust. What's fascinating is that Zillo Beasts feed off of electricity. They use it to heal themselves, gain strength, and even grow in size. It doesn't matter where the source of electricity comes from. The electroproton bomb contained enough power to wake the creature and to send it into a rampage. The modern-day Dugs were sent into a panic as they had heard the tales from their ancestors. They immediately pledged their alliance to the Republic if they managed to take down the Zillo, but this is where Palpatine interceded again. He realized that unlocking the secret to the Zillo Beast's impervious hide would mean a significant advantage for the Republic. Using the knowledge of the ancient Dugs, the Jedi weakened the monster using Malastaire's native fuel gas. Anakin ended up finding a separation in the plates of the beast's armor, which provided a weak point. Combined with the gas, they blasted it to unconsciousness by using stun tanks aimed specifically at the separations. Finally, they hauled the unconscious monster back to Coruscant. Despite warnings and misgivings from everyone, Palpatine insisted on having the beast on Coruscant for study. He deeply desired to unlock the mystery behind its hide, and employed Dr. Sion Verbol to the task. It quickly became apparent though that this was going to be difficult, if not impossible. It was impossible to extract the scales off of the beast while it was still alive, and so Palpatine ordered its execution. But Palpatine had made an oversight. He believed that it was just a simple animal. However, it turns out that the Zillo beasts are capable of a certain advanced level of sentience. It heard and understood Palpatine's insults and desire to end its life, and thus grew a hatred towards him. Behind the scenes, Dave Filoni said that the Zillo Beast could actually sense Palpatine was a Sith Lord, which was of course a humorous comment, but there is a possibility that the creature may have indeed sensed or smelled some potency in the dark side in Palpatine. It's fascinating if true. Palpatine wanted the beast executed, but despite the Doctor's protests, and those from Padme as well, the Chancellor went forward with having the beast killed without consulting with the Senate. The first hit of toxin only served to enrage the monster though, allowing it to break free from its containment center and rampage through Coruscant. It followed hollow images of Palpatine on billboards, smashing them to pieces while beelining straight for the Senate building. The Jedi were too slow to respond at how fast the creature was moving, so the stun tanks would never make it there in time. This was despite the Republic blasting it with gunships, along with Master Yoda and Aayla Secura running up and down its back to distract it. During the crisis, Palpatine's life came too close to ending had it not been for the efforts of Anakin Skywalker. And it's likely that Palpatine came close to using his Force abilities had there been no other way out. Soon though, the Republic arrived with missiles and poison gas. In a climactic battle, they managed to kill what they believed to be the last of the Zillo beasts. But this event did not deter Sidious from desiring the beast's dark secrets, and after seeing it in action firsthand, he was obsessed. He no longer wanted it to reinforce the clone troopers, he desired to clone the monster itself, giving the task to the Doctor in complete secrecy. The project would later be completed by Dr. Royce Hemlock on the Mount Tantus facility in Wayland. It seemed the Empire desired to use the power of the Zillo Beast despite the fact that it could not be tamed. Darth Sidious desired to be the first Sith to use one of these powerful monsters for himself. However, in the Bad Batch, we would see the clone monster released by Omega as a diversion to help her escape from Mount Tantus. The very last time that we know of the Zillo Beast in canon was that there was one located on the world known as Banath. At some point, Lord Vader had traveled to this world, learning of the Banathi, those that respected size and strength. These people worshipped the Zillo Beast as their god, and believed it to be the epitome of power. Vader and an army of stormtroopers would go to war with the Benthani, and Vader would fell hundreds of them before slaying their king personally. However, when faced with their god, the Zillo Beast, much like earlier in the Clone Wars, he was unable to kill it, something that infuriated him a great deal. The Force had chosen him, so how could he not conquer this mere beast? Unfortunately, we do not know the rest of the tale, as it's actually told to us from the perspective of one of Darth Vader's stormtroopers explaining the story to one Kylo Ren. But this takes us to the comic Age of Resistance villains, as Kylo Ren was traveling the world in the footsteps of Vader, desperately attempting to live up to the memory and connect himself more deeply to the dark side by perhaps accomplishing what his ancestor could not. Kylo used a former stormtrooper commander by the name of Rutherford as a guide on his journey, the same stormtrooper that had served in Vader's company on Banath and saw the Zillo Beast battle. Kylo Ren approached the king of Benathi and commanded him to serve the First Order. However, the king laughed and ridiculed him, stating that many years ago, one other like him had come and had demanded the same. The king even said that the one who came before Vader was far more impressive than Kylo was. In response, Ren executed the king on the spot in the same way that Vader had, and again went to war with the people. History repeated itself as Kylo mirrored his ancestors' accomplishment until the Zillo beast emerged. From here, Kylo Ren took a shuttle up in the air overhead of the beast, which had its attention focused on him. This, to me, further proves that the Zillo may have been Force sensitive, as I believe that the Zillo beast was sensing the dark side in Kylo, as it ignored the entire army and focused solely on Ren. Kylo then leapt from the shuttle and straight into the Zillo's mouth, and moments later, he slashes out of the creature's throat and stomach, killing it with his lightsaber from the inside. After this, the Bethany ceased their fire and bowed to Kylo Ren as their new king, and Kylo commanded them to worship only the First Order. Beyond that, the clone that is still running around out there somewhere in the Zillo beast, this may be the last of its kind. Of all the creatures that we've discussed before, from the Sith Warworm to the Terminus, it's insane that this naturally occurring monster is far more dangerous than even anything that the Sith were able to cook up in their labs. This is why the beast was so coveted and respected by them. But my friends, what do you think of the Zillo beast? And is it the deadliest creature in the galaxy? Thank you so much for visiting the archives in the channel again, and may the Force be with you.